Call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge.
I just remembered why you have that, so you start this.
Push start.
Yes.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone here today for our regular commissioners meeting, and also ask everyone to please silence your phones if you haven't already. We have a very light agenda today, and I only see the two of you guys, so I think I'll jump down here and get Catherine taken care of from the Parks Department so she can go back to work up here.
Oh yeah, get in the hot seat.
Yeah.
There.
I brought you guys some pictures. I'm just here to ask permission to have permit fees waived. The park would like to build two shelters. One is at Frazee Park, which is located up behind Frazee School. And I've tried to circle on that map where that shelter will go. It's going to go over the existing cement pad that's out at that park, and it's going to be a 20 by 32, I think I wrote on there.
20
those
by
are the
24.
same. Yeah, I didn't
20
know.
by 24.
20 by 24, which is the same dimensions as the pad. And the second shelter is going to go at Roberts Park over by the Armory. The Lions Club has generously gifted us $15,000 to build a shelter. And this is where they'd like to put it. So again, I've tried to circle there on that map where it will go. And it is a 24 by 32 is the size that they're shooting for. There's no existing pad, so that one will have to, the construction cost will have to include the cement pad as well.
And you're just asking for the permit fees to be waived
Yes, sir.
today?
I'll move to waive permit fees for the Parks Department for construction of two shelter houses, one at Frazee Park and one at Roberts Park.
Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Motion made and seconded that we waive the permit fees for the City Parks Department for two shelters, one at Frazee Park and one at Roberts Park. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kathy.
You guys got the parks pretty nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, they look very nice.
Yeah. This is our tennis court.
We'll go back up to minutes, approval minutes for
I'll
previous.
move to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded that we approve the minutes of the previous meeting as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. And departments, Jay, do you have something for us today?
Well, I can give you some information.
Thank you.
Sure. So far, we have put down $461,000 worth of hot mix.
400, say that again.
127.76.
Great.
And we still got some more to do. So, we're just now getting into our bituminous money. We had 477 in there. And we took the 400 that I had additional over for hot mix. We used all of it and we got into a little bit of it, didn't really that up there. But we still got some more we're gonna do. And we'll see what we come up with, what we have left when we get done with the chip sealing. I still got some areas in Dale's area I'd like to get. You said something about maybe if we could get 700, I don't know if we'll have enough to do that or not. That took a lot of money. That took, I got it all copied out here. That took 157,000 to do 700.
Okay.
That's putting it down an inch and a half thick and on into the county line to the middle of Bentonville.
I just, I just want to, what roads that I drove over, I just want to commend the highway department. They're really coming along with their paving program.
But we, I gotta commend Mr. Powell up there, because our roller went down, he brought his roller down, we could use it if we wanted to use it, but we got ours fixed before he got down there with it. We just got lucky. The paver laid down, he brought his paver down, we tried his paver, he wanted us to try it, see, he tried to sell it to us. I got a quote from him on it too, if you want it. It's a fairly good, it's a good paver for a track paver, it does a good job, as you've seen up there on the road.
But is it wide enough for
Yeah,
what we
It
need?
did the whole road. And he's actually gonna throw in a little, he's got extensions on it right now, two 18-inch extensions, and he's gonna, said we can go up to a 36-inch extension on the side of it, which is no problem. It's,
But it doesn't have 36.
no, it's got 18s on it right now.
Thank you.
But it did that road up there, and that's one of the widest roads in the county. Because our old one will go a little bit wider than that, but it just don't do as good a job.
Hey, does the guys come with it?
Let me tell you, they had to come down and show them how to work it, it's that new machine. Because I asked him what year it was, he said 2009 to 10. They go by the serial number on it.
Oh,
And he said they just put a bunch of money in it, they put a new rear-work discrete on it, put all that in there. He said they bought it in 16, they went through all the pumps and everything on it, checked everything out, and they've been using it since they bought it.
And how old's ours?
Ours is a 93, I think,
Oh,
Cedar Rapids.
I didn't know that it was that new. I was thinking it was
Well,
mid to late 80s.
our
But
chip
it-
box is mid to late 80s, but I can't find one to replace it. That's the thing. Unless you can find something to replace it with, it does you no good to keep wishing for one.
Our chip box needs to be the priority.
Yeah, I've been watching, I haven't
But as
found
good as the
anything.
guys are doing with the paver, I'd hate to get to the point where we've got a substandard paver.
Yeah, that one does a good job.
Right
do
now,
you have money in your budget that you can afford this?
I can afford that, and it's gonna cut me down to 25,000 in that line item I got, but I can't afford to do it.
I'd say go ahead and look into it.
He had it for 85 and he dropped it to 10. First he said, well, I'll tell him I'll make him a deal, my roller and a paver, and they said his people up there didn't want to let loose of the roller because they use it on gravel and everything else.
I'd
Because
say,
it's like a 16-ton roller.
I'd say each department, let them look at it, you know?
Is there a market for older pavers like the one we have?
We can take it and, like Mark said about finding a Bobcat, I can go over and see that guy over there in Flat Rock, where we got rid of the
Where?
pug mill at. And he's got all kinds of equipment over
But
there.
if we can keep turning our stuff over and keep really good equipment, we can
Yeah.
do a lot better job.
I agree with you.
'Cause I run stuff until it's junk.
Yeah.
There's no point
We've had
for it.
something like that too. The thing with this paver is he says he can do everything from the controls up there. He says he doesn't really need the two guys down there, but it's handy to have them down there in case something happens.
Yeah.
And they rake when they get a chance, so. He said everything's run from up there, and there's actually two pedestals, you can work from either side. It's a nice paver. They took good care of it, they got it fixed up pretty nice.
What'd the guys think of it?
They liked it.
Did they?
They didn't want to let him have it back when we went over to 800.
That's what happens when you give the Cadillac.
Yeah,
But this is a cat.
that's a cat. 1055
Is
D,
this,
I think.
is this the paver to have? Is cat the paver to have?
It's one of the heavy ones, since he says it's one of the biggest ones. It's got electric, it don't have a diesel fuel heater on the street, it's got electric, it's got a generator down there that heats the street. It's all done through electric, so you
So we don't have to
mess with none
deal
of
with
that.
gas.
Yep, just turn it on and go on. Like I say, it's a Cadillac.
Well, it sure did a good job on Bentonville Road.
All except for that one spot, Dale. You didn't notice it because you didn't go fast enough.
Well, I don't drive fast.
Gary's seen it,
Yeah.
but I think we can fix that.
But I tell you what, for the most part, 700 was hard to tell the difference between it and 30th Street.
If we're gonna do a lot of blacktopping, that's the paver you do it with. Because it don't, going down the road, them balloon tires on that other paver, it gets doing this, going down the road, because they're so pliable,
Yeah.
But the
that
tracks
track,
won't.
it lays right there and just keeps right on going.
Levels.
So regardless, whether we look at this one or another one, it ought to be tracked.
Yeah, it ought to be track paver. And I haven't seen any for right around that price.
Will you be able to load this one
Oh, yeah.
as easy
Yeah.
on the
Easier.
low boy? Easier.
It'll go on easier in that rubber tire one. The rubber tire one, when you go up on it, when you put it on a low boy, they'll
Little
walk.
one, yeah.
Yeah, because the tires flex so much. And if you're on any kind of angle, it'll walk off the side of the trailer.
Yeah,
You have to be careful.
been there, done that,
Yeah.
on my side. What's the board's pleasure?
Let me go for it. I don't know. Do you need a motion?
Are you gonna leave, are we gonna have enough money to plow snow?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I got confidence in
It's not no snow. What are you talking about?
Way this crazy weather's been going, I would bet on anything.
How many people know that Powell has this paper for sale?
I don't think he's told that many people he wanted to sell it.
Now,
but we have now.
He's wanting to buy a smaller one so he can do driveways and stuff. He's not gonna do any blacktop parking lot or anything like that.
He's
He's gonna do
just gonna
small
go to
stuff.
small stuff, drive.
He's wanting
private
to try to
driveway.
get out of it, yeah.
you think we can sell our old one or trade it?
We can trade it. I mean, I know that guy with Flat Rock, he's always looking for equipment. We just gotta find something he's got that we want.
Or vice versa.
And I'll send Morris over to talk to him. He's the horse trader.
Yeah.
Well, that would be my big concern. I don't want
No, there's
another
no
paper
sense.
sitting around.
No, it don't need to be down there.
We've got too much equipment down there now that's not getting used.
Well, this is a good opportunity to upgrade a key piece of equipment
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
and at a relatively reasonable price, it sounds like.
This same size paver, is it 200,000
Oh, more than that.
new?
I've seen some
It's a
2000,
cat for one thing.
2016 cat, that model number, 257,000, what I seen on the computer, and I went looking on a lot of different areas trying to match the price of that,
Yeah,
because I knew he wanted 85 for his,
I thought it would be
and
well
he surprised me when he dropped it another 10.
over
I'll
200,000.
I'll move that, he go ahead and look into purchasing some of this. See what we come up with. Give him the okay to go buy it if he can.
So if I call him, he'll bring it down tomorrow.
That's fine with me. You can pay for it.
Well, I'll second that motion. Jay, you see what you can, see what you
I
can
kinda
work
like
out.
the way these roads are looking when you start driving on them. I mean,
Yeah.
they're nice.
Motion made and seconded that we go ahead and allow Jay to proceed with the purchase of this paver, proposed bill of sale. On this cat paver, is there any other questions or comments?
Just good luck.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have you
Three
been out
ayes.
on 450 East, Dale?
No.
I changed what I was paving in your area, because we was gonna do 400, and we stopped and we did 450 from 275 all the way down to 400 on 450 East. We paved it. Then we went into Waterloo and we did Winding Creek around through Waterloo and tied into the new blacktop there, because then people had a real rough area down through there.
Yeah.
It turned out real good. We actually, we did it and wedged it and paved it at the same time, and we actually had less money in it than we did in Scout Road.
Huh.
And it's a little bit longer mile. We figured that one out. It wasn't, the crown wasn't as bad
Yeah.
on that road.
But you did Winding Creek, that housing development there?
Well, we did the road in front of it. We started at the road going into Winding Creek and went around and past the T road there at Adler. We done it, because it needed it. It had some really bad
What's
dips in there.
Winding Creek like? Last I heard, knew that it was back in the development, it was in bad.
I haven't been in, I need to go in and look at it. We'll probably, if we got money, we can go in there and do something with it. That's not too bad.
I can't remember whether it was redone or not, back when,
I think it was chip sealed back in 14, I think.
well, okay, then that may have been fixed.
Yeah,
You drive on these county roads, and some of them are awful nice.
yeah.
I mean, I'd like to see the whole county like that. I know it takes time, and you gotta have equipment and stuff.
We done, what's the one down there in Laurel? You're gonna leave me hanging, aren't you? The dead end road down in Laurel that comes back, it's part Franklin County and part ours.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We done our part of it last year, and them people were tickled to death.
Oh, yeah.
Because man,
That road kind of.
they had to go out on Franklin County, but they come back and they paved some of theirs too. Yeah.
Shamed them.
Okay.
Well, this will come as no surprise to you, Jay, but as you know, we're progressing along getting these paving jobs done is also bringing in, I'm hearing more and more requests about striping the edges of the road because at night people can't see the edge of the road.
I've heard that too.
And a fella called me the other day and said out here on Alquina Road, 2 pickup trucks smacked mirrors one night because they couldn't tell where the edge of the road were. And there's no lines for them to see. And there's been several runoffs. I hate to think what striping equipment would cost.
I checked into it in 14. I went up, seen Wayne County and asked them to look at their equipment and checked how much. And they said they had $200,000 in their spraying equipment. And that's not counting keeping the paint up and everything. And
That's
they
just
said,
the
once you
equipment.
start, you've got to keep going because
Oh,
they
yeah.
won't let you stop.
Yeah.
They recommended not to do it, but he said if you can get out of it, get out of it. Because once you start it, you can't stop it.
And it's terribly expensive to have a contract done.
Yeah,
Even the paint's terribly
Yeah,
expensive.
it is.
yeah. It's got the crystals in it, the reason why for reflectance.
And I don't know if there's some other way that we could, reflective markers or,
Well, it's a shame this equipment and the paint itself is so expensive. But I can certainly sympathize with these people.
Oh yeah, I've been out on them in the dark and I've seen, it helps some when you got the gravel on the sides where you can see the different color of the gravel.
Yeah.
But the places where it's right up against the grass, you just have to try to judge best you can.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting pretty old. I don't have the eyesight that I did
Me
when I was
too.
21, you know. And
Yeah, but look at it this way, you might have somebody driving for you before long.
well, I hope it's not you.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a problem for a lot of people, especially at night. You know, and that's when it's really the issue. I'd like to see us be able to afford it. Now, I don't have
I can check into it, because that's been 6 years ago, and it might have dropped some, I don't know.
Things don't drop.
you
No,
reckon
not
that
normally, not
you
with
reckon
construction.
that used equipment dealer down there, you know, the
You know, I haven't
guy,
asked him, but I could ask him. He buys everything.
would you at least make an inquiry about that?
Yeah,
See?
yeah, I can check on it, see what it's gonna cost. Because most of them are just a compressor, a compressor and a sprayer, and that's it. You just gotta have the tanks and everything else, and then you gotta have the paint,
yeah.
and you gotta know how to mix it.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot of people would sure appreciate the striping, but I also understand that once you start it, there ain't no.
Yeah. That's what he told me up there. He says, once you start it, you can't stop it.
Yeah. Check with your used equipment dealer and see what he's got.
I'll find out.
Okay.
We're not letting him talk.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Jay. Bill, do you have anything for the commission? All right. Next, we've got Dan Parker that's zoomed in. Good afternoon, Dan.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
You have
Has Greg Weimer arrived yet?
Yes, he's here.
Okay. I'm really here supporting Greg regarding the business that he has, so
Let Greg speak then.
that, you stole my words.
All right. We'll give the floor to Greg then.
Okay, Commissioners, good afternoon. Greg Weimer with Klein Peter Consulting Group.
Thank you.
Yep. I know Jolisa was going to hopefully be here. I'm here to ask for your approval of approving a resolution that authorizes submission of a grant application to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. You recall the county received funding for grants to businesses. This would be loans to businesses. But it's a loan program where they pay 0% interest for the first 6 months and no payment. So it's interest-free and principal, no payments for 6 months. At the end of 2 years, if the company is still in operation and still retaining jobs, the county will have the option to forgive either 100% of the balance or whatever percentage you deem appropriate. So with that, I'm here to ask you also, I think there was a commitment made that there would be $10,000 in local matching money for this $250,000 grant. I'm here to answer any questions that you might have.
Are there any questions or comments? The resolution that he is referring to would be Resolution 20-R-5, authorizing the application submission and local match commitment.
I believe that says 5,000. You just said 10.
This says, yes, $5,000.
Oh, whatever the number.
Okay, all right.
My mistake.
That sounds better.
Well, I couldn't, I was thinking it was 5,000 or 6,000, but
This was all going to Jolisa?
it's actually, this is an extension of this is the second
This
part of the first
Oh,
one.
okay.
this is phase 2.
This is phase 2. This is for another $250,000
$250,000.
Okra grant, is what this is.
We need to approve the resolution.
Yes,
I'll move to approve the resolution. If you have the number, whatever it is,
20-R-5.
20-R-5.
I'll second the motion for approval.
There's a motion made and seconded that we approve the resolution 20-R-5, authorizing application submission and local match commitment to the Phase 2 Okra grant. Is there any questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. With this gets the application submitted.
Yeah, it's due the 31st, July 31st, so we got about 10 days.
Okay,
That is one of the multiple documents that need signed. If you have other business, I can wait until the end of the meeting and pick those up.
let me get those for you right now.
He can sign them, he ain't doing nothing.
No, I don't.
That's not everything, and I'll need copies of them all first.
This is not everything that needs to be signed?
My signature, and I left them out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I want to thank you folks too for helping us on phase 1.
Well, you're welcome, and I know Dan Parker and his team did a great job of getting the word out there, getting businesses to apply for that money. And it shouldn't be long, we should have that money here and in their hands, so,
That's what we're waiting for.
yes. With that, thank you very much.
So thank
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Dan, do you have anything else for us today?
No, probably I will be emailing you individually about some things that I can't discuss publicly, but I will be getting some new information to you that I think you're going to like.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
I'll sign off with that, and thank you for your support and for what you're doing with these grants. us. They're helping our business community tremendously. Thank you very much.
Hey, Dan,
Yes,
you gonna take him to buy his lunch, ain't you?
yes, absolutely.
Okay, good.
I'll come. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. There you go. All right. Any other department heads? Anything else? Mail? Old business? We took care of Catherine. Any patron concerns?
Gary, under new business,
Okay.
it's time of year again, we really need to sit down and work out a capital plan for 2021. And we haven't had any discussion about that yet. But I just wanted to put that reminder out because, budget hearings
Budget's
are
coming
next
up.
month and we do need to have a capital plan ready for the council by the time they, hopefully by the time they begin budget hearings. So I would suggest that we, depending on everyone's schedule, take a little time and sit down and work one out.
I have submitted, Jane had to have the budgets last week. I submitted those budgets, the courthouse operating and the edit. I left everything the same so that at least that much money's there to make part of that capital plan. So
Okay?
we can go less, we just won't be able to go more.
Right.
So,
It ought to
I
pretty
wonder-
well be covered then from last year.
I'm sorry.
It ought to pretty well be covered then. from
Everything,
last year.
everything we did for this year is covered for next year, so at least that much, so. But with that, there needs to be more discussion to finalize that,
Sure.
so. I'm open to all suggestions, so. Anything else?
I think the attorney has something else.
I think there's an administrative matter, just with regard to the old business, when looking at the minutes. It reports that, the discussion last month with regard to the ground displacement, that it was discussed, it's under the caption old business, when in fact that was a new business item last month. On a related note, it doesn't talk about it with an affirmative approval, so I'd like to get it on the record that that was discussed and an affirmative approval was obtained with regard to, I think the description that's provided in the old business sections, it reads fine, it's just, there's nowhere on the record that shows that it was officially approved.
What was officially approved?
Let's see, the 3 areas, the removal of the gravel, and it shows the distance calculations for the distance that the gravel was displaced in the field. It's what we discussed at the Drainage Board meeting prior to this meeting.
And you're talking about the minutes of the regular meeting?
Yeah, and if you recall,
Previous.
last month I'd actually stayed for the Commissioners meeting outside of the Drainage Board meeting, thought it was a separate matter, it should be discussed, it was more appropriate to discuss the gravel displacement matter at the Commissioners meeting. So I think it's just administrative cleanup, and just want to get that on the record as being approved.
You understand that?
If you want, I can approach.
I think what you're saying is the written minutes do not reflect everything that was said about
Correct.
that matter.
So you're not
Yes.
talking about the July 7th meeting, you're talking about the June 16th meeting?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
My
you're right.
confusion
It says there's a
initially,
bi-weekly.
yeah, it wasn't the last meeting,
Yeah,
okay.
whereas Drainage Boards. So yes, going back to the June 16th meeting, we had discussed.
Regular meeting?
Yes.
Okay,
My-
okay, all right.
My
Or
apologies.
commissioners meeting?
Yes, my
All right.
apologies. Yep.
All right, okay, all right. I'm with you now.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Anything else on that?
That's it,
All
that's
right.
it.
Okay.
I guess I'll move to approve claims and payroll.
Second the motion.
There's been a motion made and seconded that we approve claims and payroll as presented. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. Back to the individual claims. Now I'm trying to make sure I don't have two of them stuck together, but you might double check for me.
Okay.
Everybody get one of these, Jane. Triggers.
Yes.
Everyone received the monthly treasurer's report.
Yes.
Okay. All right, that's it, isn't it?
If I may, was there an affirmative vote to remove the gravel? I didn't hear anything.
Not then, nor, I mean, no vote, but I don't we agreed that we would go on the property and remove the gravel when
Okay.
time allowed,
Right. In terms of waiting.
on the 16th of June.
Correct. Okay, there was, just from what I'm seeing, there's no affirmation, there's no representation that there was an agreement. That's it.
Do you want us to sign a contract with the property owners? Or?
No, I think there should be an affirmative representation though. Right now, you can't tell that a position was taken.
Okay, well, I think what you're asking is that our official minutes show that we did instruct the highway supervisor to go up and remove the gravel.
That's correct.
Okay. I think could the auditor insert that in the minutes for today's meeting? Would that satisfy your?
Yeah, that would be fine. That would be fine. Get it on record today.
Is that
That'd be
your-
perfectly fine.
If that's what you're wanting to do, then yeah, just put it on the record for today. Just essentially that we're
Jane, would you?
But we don't need to make a motion every time we,
correct.
All right.
You're asking the superintendent.
superintendent to take, the director to take care of that, yeah, okay.
But I think he's just
I
asking.
don't want to get in the habit of every time we
Right.
talk about doing something that we have to make motions to do it.
I think what he's asking for is for it to be noted in the minutes that the board asked the superintendent to remedy the gravel issues.
Which we did.
Which,
Right,
Yeah.
on the 16th.
right, but it wasn't in the minutes as that. But if we put it in the
But
minutes as today.
if you listen to the tape, I'm sure it says it,
Sure.
which is part of the legal record also, isn't it?
Sure.
That-
I think that's an argument, absolutely.
Okay.
But for clarity's sake, it is going to be shown as of today's minutes.
Yes, I guess.
Thank you.
That's it. I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second the motion to adjourn.
There's a motion made and seconded that we adjourn. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
3 ayes. Meeting